News dump. What a week of news. D23 Mac has come and gone once again. It's all news.
A tremendously underwhelming D23.
Have they? I guess they used to be a little bit better a couple years ago when Marvel wasn't going to San Diego Comic-Con. But because Marvel is now back in Hall H, a lot of the news comes out then.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, it should be flip-flopped. You should have D23 a couple weeks before Hall H Comic-Con, because then it's like an appetizer leading into the big shebang. This, it feels like the appetizer was by far the best part, Comic-Con.
Well,
and
yeah,
now
because they got
the
to all of their
meal wasn't great.
They got to all of their movie news like 2-3 weeks ago, and now they're
Yeah.
like, "How about the television news, guys? What do you think? You like Marvel TV still?"
And you're like, yeah, I liked the mozzarella sticks I had a couple weeks ago.
Oh, but mozzarella sticks are great, though.
I had this conversation twice
Yeah?
yesterday. It
Go
just
ahead.
happened that it came up 2 times.
Well, hold on. Whoa. 2 separate people, or was it the
2
same
separate
person
people
twice?
2 separate
Okay.
people
Very
about
important.
mozzarella sticks, talking
Yep.
about how mozzarella sticks are, like, my go-to appetizer order, whether it be from a bar, a pizza place, pickup, whatever it is. And then, like, 3 hours later, my buddy was telling me that him and his wife have their new thing lately is going to all the restaurants in the area and trying their mozzarella sticks and, like, rating the mozzarella sticks, and I'm like, "I fucking love that. That's a great idea."
Yeah, there's a place near me that I just realized makes the best tater tots in the world. And
Ooh,
I've just
tots
been
are nice
ordering
too.
tater tots on their own.
Mm.
$8, just a big old bin of tater tots.
There's actually the bar near me that, has changed names a couple times that's next to Pizza Roma there.
Mhm.
They do really good tots there as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice crunchy outside, real
Mm.
soft, pillowy inside.
They do, they have, like, an animal style take on it too if you're really looking to get messy.
Like a house sauce.
Yeah, they basically copy an In-N-Out, but
I mean,
that's
I'll get messy with all my food. If it
Mm.
tastes good, I will get messy. I will have it as fattening as possible. If that's how it's supposed to taste, Imma do it.
I'll tell you, there are some restaurants out there that for some reason can't figure out how to make a good French fry. They should switch to tots. Tots
Yeah.
are probably easier to fry up and make palatable.
Head over to social media right now. Tell us your favorite cut of French fry. Or go to the YouTube comments. We have that as well. Mac, heading up on this dump, not only are we going to get to D23, that's Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, Disney animation, Disney live action. I don't know, they're making a comeback maybe. But we also have some box office news. We'll be leading off with that. And we have Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is now on Paramount Plus. And one of our favorite websites from our childhood. May we go on. What's the Vitamin C song?
As
forgot
we
Here we
go on, we remember all the times we shared together.
We never know it, and we're
I
never going to
never-
look it up.
I
We're never
never
going to look it
know
up. So without further ado, news dump. Box office numbers are in for the weekend, and for a second, it looked like It Ends With Us might be taking the top spot. They had the biggest Friday, but by the end of the weekend, Deadpool in its third week took in $54 million. It Ends With Us, $50 million. Twisters in week 4, $15 million. And Borderlands also in its opening weekend on a budget of $115 million. And God knows how much on the promotion. They made $8.8 million.
Couple notes here, Goo. I know you saw It Ends With Us last week.
I did.
It seems like the general consensus is kind of what you said. It was like, meh, it was all right.
Yeah, it's fine. I like my favorite write-up was an adequate adaptation. I'm like, okay, that's not
All
bad.
right. Good enough.
I had no idea going into the movie that anything that happened in the book. I actually just found out on that day that it was a book.
Sure, yeah.
So when I saw it, I guffawed a couple times because it took a couple real hard turns because I
Oh.
thought it was like a rom-com,
Yeah.
and the first hour of the movie is.
Okay.
And then it ain't.
Is it sexy?
It's promoted as being sexy, but it's about domestic violence.
Borderlands, Goo. I don't know what the percentage is at currently, but it opened with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I last saw it at 6%.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That is low enough that I think I have to go see it now.
I'm gonna wait on it and then I'll see it. I will see it eventually.
I might go see it today. I got nothing on the
This
docket.
doesn't seem like it's fun bad, though. It just
I
seems like it's
I know.
clumsy bad.
Yeah, you're probably right about that, but that's all-time bad when you're talking
Yeah,
single digits. And
it is.
Kate Blanchett can't save that? I mean, come on.
Well, it's Kate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, Jack Black's voice is in it.
Mm.
But it also just seems like a real run-of-the-mill, "Hey, Guardians is bright, fun, and colorful. Let's
I
try
don't
and do that."
I don't know anything about that video game series either, so maybe that helps.
Also, Trap fell to number 6. I think it made 5.5 million
Mm.
over the weekend, so that
That
did not have a good second week.
Yeah, that's one that I'll get on home streaming. I'm not gonna pay for that one.
Also, Deadpool and Wolverine now over $1 billion.
Love that. What was the mark for Joker? 1.5?
No, I think it's like 1.15 or something. I don't have on
Okay.
the top of my head, but it's
So
not 1.5.
so Deadpool and Wolverine is gonna get past that.
I think it will.
Yeah,
Once
especially
again, weak August.
yeah, I was gonna week August, and then the couple movies that were gonna test it haven't done all that well, so here you go. It's got the full runway.
News dump. We go to D23 now, and your biggest piece of news
Mm.
is that there was no update on Blade.
Yeah, disheartening, disappointing, somewhat expected, I guess. So we got it's still on the movie slate for the end of next year is the Blade solo movie, and we have got fucking nothing about it. They just spent a month giving us updates about all their projects, and the only thing we didn't get was Blade. So that has to tell you there's no way that fucking movie's coming out in a year.
News dump. Other Marvel news, probably the biggest piece of news, and we haven't seen the trailer on social media yet, unless you want to watch a grainy, bad someone's cell phone camera getting what happens on the screen, which is what Mac and I watched, and that is Daredevil Born Again. John Barenthal back, and he said that he is just very excited and thankful to be back in that position.
It's Bernthal, not like Berenstein Bears.
No, it's Berenstein Bears.
I'll tell you, as someone who didn't love the Netflix series as much as most, I am looking forward to this because it seems like they're going to take the grit and the
Yep.
seriousness of the Netflix series and punch it up a little bit, and give us a
Punch
little
it with
more.
their fists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give us some more, connections. Um, I am looking forward to this series, and I'm also looking forward to it because the two villains or characters they're introducing in this series, I have no idea who they are, so I have no expectations for them, and I think that's going to be good.
Muse and White Tiger.
Yeah, I don't know if White Tiger's good or bad. The Muse character is pretty intriguing though, because apparently he's a serial killer who uses his victims' blood to create art.
Yeah. That sounds like fun.
It sounds like something that Daredevil should be dealing with, so I like
And
that.
then White Tiger has amulets, mystical amulets. So like that's kind of like Ms. Marvel? Question mark.
Oh, I was gonna say Iron Fist a little bit, maybe like in that realm.
I guess they're all kind of the same though, because they get their powers from like old mystical crap.
Yes, yes. I did see, by the way, that there's gonna be an Iron Fist in that Eyes of Wakanda series, which is
Okay.
interesting. So
This
they're
series
not.
comes out on May 2025. And also in this trailer, it appears that Murdoch/Daredevil will be teaming up with Kingpin.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like that, especially based on the way
I
those
think it's
two
interesting, though.
were.
It's
It's
interesting.
interesting.
And also, it's not just going to be like, hey, here's the same thing that you got during the Daredevil show on Netflix of Daredevil versus Kingpin.
So I am curious to that, and obviously with all the reshoots, so they were gonna hard reboot this series.
Yeah.
Everyone hated it initially, so then they rebooted the reboot back
And then
to
Marvel said, wait, do you guys like this? Do
yeah.
you like this?
So I do wonder if it's gonna be somewhat of a soft reboot because
Mhm.
we did get a kind of a
I don't
different
think it is.
Daredevil in that She-Hulk.
I
And
don't think it is. Well, they show the cowls. They show
yes,
the cowls, which is
and,
awesome.
and apparently he's
Fucking
gonna be
Batman.
wearing like 5 suits during this
It's
season, so I
great.
like that. I'm a big
Think of
fan
all
of
the
that.
action figures you can sell. It's like Batman and Robin.
Yeah, and oh, they also what's his face? Bullseye peaked
Yeah.
up again, and in that trailer, apparently he was like getting a surgery, which might be him getting an adamantium spine,
Ooh,
apparently.
I
Apparently
like
in the
that.
comics, he has an adamantium spine, so that's intriguing.
News dump. Got a better look at Harrison Ford in Brave and Bold. I'm Captain America as the Red Hulk. We see his face, and I'll tell you this, he's red.
He's red. He's red and
Red
he's
Hulk.
mad. We
Yep.
get the full frontal finally, and number one, not enough chest hair on him. I want my Red Hulk to be a little more chest hair forward.
Well, did they show Harrison Ford bare chest? And maybe it's just the same bare chest.
Okay, fair enough. Harrison Ford strikes me as someone who would have a hairy chest. No,
You're right. Like a super hairy chest.
yeah, but not like lower, just up in the chest part, not really in the
Well,
abdomen part.
wasn't he hairless in one of the Indiana Jones movies? I feel like I'm thinking back to one of those, and the hair on the chest is fairly similar to what the Hulk had. Maybe they use that as
Okay.
like, okay, this is what he looked like as Indiana Jones with the sexy chest hair.
Also, I'm really the closer we're getting to this movie, I'm kind of liking the idea that maybe their worst movie they've done, 2008, The Incredible Hulk, they're bringing back the villain from that movie or the guy that turns into the villain, Tim Blake Nelson, as the leader and is going to be like the main villain in this movie 16 years later or 17 years later. I like that sort of like redemption bit because like he wasn't bad in that movie. That movie just wasn't very good.
News dump. Got our first look at our Fantastic Four cast sitting around. Looks like it's post getting their powers. And we have Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch in his suit.
Yeah, I wonder if this is going to be the final form of the suit, but I like it. It's simplistic and it sort of invokes those NASA 60s vibes, which I think is
1960s vibes, baby.
yeah, that's exactly what they're going for. So I like the suit.
News dump. Also got another trailer for Agatha all along, and this one, I think, tells us that it is a musical. I don't know how we're doing this. The first trailer made it seem like it wasn't a musical again, like that was a joke when they said it, but now the joke's back on us.
There's a really strong chance that this show fucking blows. Like going into it, I am expecting it to be the worst Marvel show.
But what I like about it is that in the trailer, it says this Halloween season. So they at least know when the Halloween season is, and that
Yes,
is
so
September 18th.
I
You
guess.
want to start it late September so that the show ends around Halloween.
Of course.
What I always hated about American Horror Story is that they would start the season at the beginning of October, and then it would run until like November, like late November or early December. And I want my spooky fun in October. Don't let it run over into my Christmas season.
I think that's an American television thing in general, though. Usually the new seasons of stuff starts in the fall. So I think that's just a
On
TV thing.
November 1st, the tree goes up and the pumpkins go in the trash. And that goes the same for my entertainment.
I'll tell you, you have a wife and a kid, so you're more into the tree stuff than I. I hate real Christmas trees.
On
Hate them.
November 2nd, we have already marked the calendar at my house. We're putting up our Christmas tree.
They're fire hazards if they don't get water enough. They leave pine needles all over the
don't have
fucking
a
house.
real tree. We have a fake tree. It's a
Good,
beautiful fake
good.
tree.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Fire
Also,
safe.
never buy pre-lit because if one of those bulbs go out, you're fucked.
The whole tree you gotta replace.
The whole
probably,
tree,
right?
you gotta fucking replace the tree. If you don't go pre-lit, you can just get a whole new string of lights.
There you go. There's some sound advice right there.
Also, start my spooky shows in September.
I would
Just as
rather
the leaves start to turn. And
I would
just as
rather
the
watch
foliage is beautiful.
I'd rather watch your family putting ornaments on the tree for 3 hours than Agatha.
It's mostly me. My family does not participate as much as they
Do
should.
do you lift Raffi up to put the star on top or whatever you put on top?
Well, first off, I put an Iron Man at the top.
I
We
like
call
that.
it the Christmas Stark.
Ooh,
Yeah, because Christmas star, Christmas
right,
tree. Yeah, the
right.
star.
Good
Put that
segue,
on top.
by the way.
Yeah. Oh, okay. News down. Yes, we have seen a bit of the teaser of Ironheart, which Ryan Coogler is the executive producer on. This is coming in 2025. I feel like they shot this a while ago,
Mm.
but D23 attendants got to see a little teaser of Riri building her suit. Also, got a little look at the new suit, which does not look like it's from Power Rangers, which is very nice. And she punches a truck.
This is something no one's really asking for. However, Coogler being a big part of it does does sound encouraging. I think they shot this roughly around Wakanda Forever, so they
Yeah.
shot it 2 years ago. Um, they'll probably had to modify it quite a bit because things have changed in the greater universe.
Hmm.
I do think though this show is going to be pretty self-contained and sort of the origin story of how Riri Williams becomes Ironheart. She was really briefly in Wakanda Forever, so I do think it as a character some people want to see in the MCU. I just don't know if we want a full show.
I mean, the biggest news here is that Jim Rash is back.
Yeah, and maybe bigger than that is finally
No,
maybe
no,
this
not bigger than Jim Rash.
this is what Screen Crush believes, and they have some pretty good theories. They think Mephisto will finally pop up in this series,
Okay,
played by Sacha Baron Cohen.
I want you to go back and look
Yeah.
up how many times Screen Crush predicted that Mephisto was going to be in anything.
Apparently, Anthony Ramos's character, the Hood, who is like, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not really a hero, but he's not really a villain. What's that?
Anti-villain.
Yeah, anti-hero. That's what we're
Anti-
looking for.
An anti-villain would just be a hero.
He's kind of an anti-hero character that has a connection to Mephisto, like mystically. So we may see Mephisto finally 3 years later. No, 4 years later, we're getting Mephisto, and not even in a Wanda or Agatha series.
Hear me out. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I bet we don't.
I'm calling it now. This is my first Mephisto prediction. We're getting it in Ironheart.
Don't do it.
We're getting it in Ironheart. We're getting it in Ironheart. That's why I think it makes sense, because it doesn't make sense.
Ironheart, the one that everyone wants to see, and everyone has, like
Mephisto.
on 5/26. Not 5/26. That's Mandalorian and Grogu. On what's the date? Just somewhere in 2025.
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's when we're gonna see Mephisto.
Yes, I'm calling it here. You've heard it here, 80th.
I bet we don't. News done. And the final piece of Marvel news. This didn't even happen at D23, but Channing Tatum is still lobbying for a Gambit movie, saying a bunch of words and then saying that it's up to Bob Iger.
I loved that character. I don't know if we need a Gambit movie, right?
I think the ship has set sail, and also getting that character as goofy as he was in Deadpool as pretty much a parody, I don't think you can now pull him into a real movie, a real X-Men movie, and have it be serious.
Yeah, let's introduce the X-Men before we get to a Gambit movie. How about that?
I'm going to name down my hair. Can you do that line?
It just sounded like a line of dialogue from Janis Joplin's Bobby McGee.
Yeah. I'm about to make him name myself in here. I'm pretty good at it. Like in my head.
Hey, 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 Bobby McGee.
News dump. All right, Star Wars, tons. Not really, actually. Do we have some Star Wars stuff? I mean, we already knew that a Mandalorian and Grogu movie is coming out. We got a teaser trailer that is yet to hit social media yet. But once again, if you want to watch a grainy recap of what we've gotten in the series so far with a couple of nuggets at the end, D23 saw footage. This movie is coming out in the year 2026, so we need to stay alive that long. Looks like there's a bit of Hoth, maybe, and Grogu in Beskar armor.
Yeah, we also got an image of Grogu in a ship or vehicle with a couple Babu freaks.
And we're a bunch of Babu freaks over here, so we like that.
Yes, sir.
I did see a description. Someone called him Din Grogu. So if he's a Mandalorian, he gets Din at the beginning?
I think that's kind of like the end of the... So season 3 wasn't very good, so I kind of forget exactly what happened, but I think that's kind of what happens at the end,
he
right?
adopted him, right?
Yeah. So I think he becomes Din Grogu at the end.
I like that. Actually. Do you think that some people that, saw the first season or even parts of the second season, they see this title and they're like, who the fuck is Grogu?
100%. There's a large portion of people that have no idea who Grogu is.
I still, like a fucking nerd, I correct people who call him Baby Yoda. And I'm like, we call him Grogu in my household. We respect his name. News dump. Got some season 2 of Andor news. This will take place over the 4 years leading up to Rogue One. We'll have a 1-year time jump. every 3 episodes. Ben Mendelsohn will return as Director Krennic. Forrest Whitaker will return as Saw Gerrera. Alan Tudyk is back as K2SO. Woo! Our sassy robot. And this is releasing in the year 2025, giving me just enough time to watch the first season.
Yeah, we also got some Saw Gerrera in the Rebels series.
Mhm.
So if you like that character, I suggest diving into Rebels. Apparently, this will be a de-aged Orson Krennic too, which I guess makes sense because that movie came out, what, 7 years ago? 6 years ago?
2017? 2016.
And
2016.
so he would be younger canonically, and he's now aged another 7 years.
Yeah.
That's a great character, though. I very much enjoy that character. If all I need for Andor to do is just pop one lightsaber, and I'll watch the fucking show.
I don't know. K2SO, does that get you in?
It's close. It's working there for sure. It's
Because
definitely working towards
K2SO
that.
is on my Mount Rushmore of Star Wars characters, which is, I know there's been a lot of characters. I love that sassy son of a
K2
bitch.
was Rogue One was great, and
Yes.
K2 was the best part of the movie.
News dump. Also got a trailer that I didn't see for Skeleton Crew.
I caught a couple glimpses of this, but was more so Jude Law talking about this show.
Okay.
And it's gonna be very Goonies and E.T. inspired, so it's gonna
Okay.
have that 80s feel, kid adventure type of thing, so we'll see how this goes. We just finished talking about The Acolyte and how kids never add anything to any property, never mind
Mhm.
Star Wars, so this could go poorly.
I don't know why, but for a very long time, I was saying Skellington.
Oh, like Jack?
That's not the right word.
Yeah. It's like
My
saying
wife had to
John
correct me. So I was saying it for a long time.
it's like saying John Barenthal. It's Bernthal, not
Oh, it's
Barenthal.
Berenstein. Son, father, daughter, mother. Berenstein.
There. Bang.
News dump. Let's move on to some Disney animation, and we got another trailer. It actually was the first one, just a teaser. I think the
Yeah,
first one was
this
just
is
a
the
teaser.
first trailer, yeah.
This is the first real trailer for Moana 2. And guess what? Moana, she's got a sister and a ghost grandma.
You're always in on ghost
I
relatives.
love ghost relatives. Chet Hunter is still one of my all-time favorite characters.
I'm already gonna be annoyed at the fact that the baby sister is gonna be the emotional note trying to tie her back home, and they're gonna spend maybe a little too much emotions on that. I am looking forward to this because Moana is, I think, easily the best modern Disney movie. But that means it's real high expectations going in.
I just need to know about the music because the
Mhm.
music in the first one, bunch of bangers, but it's all for
Dynamite.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is not doing it for this one.
Yeah, he's not doing it for this. He's doing it for the stupid fucking new Mufasa movie.
Should we get to that instead?
Yeah, I guess.
News dump. Mac, I watched this trailer and I couldn't make heads or tails of anything that happened in it.
So there's a character that's going to be introduced in this movie called Taka, who's Mufasa's brother. Is that right?
Scar's his brother.
So does Taka become Scar? I don't understand what's going on in this
Yeah, because
movie.
they were talking about an adopted brother, right? Like he found a brother.
I don't know. I don't, and but I think I tolerated it in the first Lion King live action because I love that story so much. But there's something really off about having these hyper realistic
Look,
lions
that's my big
with
issue.
with cartoonish voices.
Yes.
It's weird.
I don't like it at all. I don't
Yeah.
like the look of it. I can't
It's
get into it. And I
bizarre.
know I'm a hypocrite. I said that if you give me live action Disney movies with new stories, I will give them credit and I will give them a chance. The look of the lions talking, of the animals talking, looks fucking stupid.
I agree
And
with you.
I can't get behind it.
I agree with you. It's just not jiving for me.
That's like you and your friends watching nature documentaries and then you being like, "Oh, look at that lion," like, and you start giving the lion a voice, even though the lion's not even moving its mouth.
Hey, look at me over here. I'm a lion.
Mac did the dub. News dump. I bet that was every line. The original script of The Lion King was just saying, yeah, well, I'm a bird.
It's just every animal saying what animal they
Let's get to this next one because we didn't get a full trailer, full teaser, but I think this movie, I'm going to draft it with all of my money in whatever year it comes out in the movie draft. And that is the live action Lilo and Stitch movie. And I know that I just said that I don't care for like the complete adaptations of what they did animated. The look of Stitch is going to sell $1 billion.
He reminds me of what Pikachu looked like
Yeah.
in Detective Pikachu.
Slightly better though.
Yeah, they fine-tuned the little hairs and whatnot. I'm pretty intrigued as to who is playing Lilo's mother
I think
because
all that information is known if you want to give it a Google.
cartoon version looks pretty good. Pretty excited for the live action version.
Yeah.
Nah, mean.
We know what you mean. Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
I also think I'm a little more receptive to this because I feel like Lilo and Stitch flies under the radar. So
Yeah.
this will give it a little bit of a new life. But that
I think
movie's
it's also
awesome.
just outside of like our like childhood Disney movies. So it gives us a chance to watch it without like I've seen it, but I don't remember it like super fondly because I was a little bit older.
Yeah.
But the look of Stitch, the
Great
little blue
character.
guy is Stitch, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna just make $1 million. I mean, I can make $1 million, not really, but well, in my lifetime, I'll make $1 million in my lifetime, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You took way too long of a pause after that.
Yeah.
But $1 billion just off the look of Stitch.
Yeah, I agree.
News dump. I think if you add up all the money I'll make in my lifetime, it'll be over $1 million, hopefully, right?
It definitely will. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I bet you've made $1 million already.
I don't want to do the math. I might have.
Yeah, definitely have.
We'll see.
You've been working for what? 16 years? 15 years?
How old am I? 35. Yeah, 16 years.
Yeah, you've made $1 million, I think.
Oh, me and Stitch side by side. Same amount of money. We also got an announcement for Zootopia 2. We also saw the title card of it. And I need to ask, why aren't they calling it Tootopia or Zootopia?
They really should. That movie's going to do really well too. Critics loved that first movie, and cartoon animals I think sells to kids. I just really did not like that movie.
Coming out on November of 2025. News dump. Let's go on to Froze 3. This was announced. Now we are going to put the 3 where the E is, correct?
Yeah, you have to.
You have to. This is coming out in 2027, and I don't have anything written here. I think I read that they're going to find out why Elsa has powers and Anna doesn't or something.
I still haven't seen the second one.
I'm not going to see the second one.
I don't know what's going on in the Frozen universe.
Until I am forced to sit through it, I'm not going to watch the second one.
The first one was decent. Had a couple great songs.
It ain't Moana.
But it's not Moana. And
it's not Tangled.
I don't think we needed a second movie, so I just never watched it.
News dump. Also saw a bit of a teaser, and this was put on social media, of the live-action Snow White movie starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, and this is coming out on March 2025.
I'm intrigued by Gal Gadot playing that evil witch character. What the hell is her name?
Who's like, this younger girl's so much hotter than me. I hate her.
Yeah. What's the name? Because she's Angelina Jolie played her. Maleficent?
Yeah.
Is that who she's playing?
Yeah, so hold up. So Maleficent, no, she wasn't Maleficent. Isn't Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty?
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
this is a very similar character, though, isn't it?
No, I think this is like Snow White and the Huntsman that came out a couple years ago, right?
Yeah. What character did Charlize Theron play in that?
I think that was Charlize Theron. Because then it was it Kristen Bell who was Snow White?
I don't think so.
And then I think that Chris
you're thinking of Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart, thank you. Yeah. And then I think Chris Hemsworth played the main huntsman who was named Mike.
There's someone that's just getting that now, a few seconds later. That is at least the second Mike Hunt joke you've made in 2 weeks.
We have done, I don't know, we're getting close to a lot of episodes. I have done it, I think, every other week. And I always will. News dump. Let's move on to Pixar. And we got, I didn't see this coming, actually. Incredibles 3.
Yeah, Second movie was a little bit of a letdown, but it was still decent.
It
The
looked really good.
first movie's an all-timer, and
First
actually
was
a little
amazing.
peek behind the curtain here. Goo and I were asked by hashtag Dork to come up with our top 50 movies of all
Oh, yeah,
time,
we're involved in that. I am riddled with anxiety.
and ultimately Keith will put it together, and there'll be a cumulative top 50.
Yeah.
But I think Incredibles is on that list.
I think that and one of the Toy Stories would be the Pixar movies that I would take.
Yeah, I have Toy Story 1 on there, but you just gotta represent Toy Story somehow, I think.
Yeah. I might just
My
write Toy Stories as, like,
my
all 4 movies as one.
so the issue I'm having is growing up the age that we did, we watched the original Star Wars movies all together,
Mhm.
always.
Yeah.
So they're almost I have the same feeling towards all
That's
3
why
of
I'm gonna
those
write Toy
movies.
Stories, Star Wars, and then just, like, put 7 S's at the end.
Um,
Godfathers.
I'm having a hard time ranking those the first 3 Star Wars movies, but my initial run, Goo, without looking anything up online, just going off of material I had already saved, I
Yeah.
got to 49 movies, so
Nice.
good first run. You know who I have 49th, which I'm using as a barometer, I
What is
think,
that?
for the above and below? First Blood.
Well, speaking of Toy Story, news dump. Got a little tease for Toy Story 5. This movie is being teased as toys versus electronics.
That's not a
Phones
bad
and apps and whatnot.
yeah, that's
Also, they
not bad.
teased out an army of 50 malfunctioning Buzz Lightyear toys will be the villains.
I bet there'll be updated Buzz Lightyear toys with, like, a chip that goes awry, and
Mhm.
that's why that happens. I don't mind them framing it as toys versus electronics. They gotta move in a new direction anyways.
Yeah.
Um, they're getting so much play out of this Toy Story universe.
I mean, they've all been good so far.
I felt like 4 was way better than 3.
And Lightyear, you really liked, but that's not a part of the universe.
No, I
So
enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I really
you
liked it.
loved it. You
Don't
told
put
me on the
words in
day,
my
you're like, this was made for everybody.
I did like the cat named Socks, though. That was
Yeah.
nice.
Do you think Socks makes an appearance in this?
I'd like
I
a
bet it
little
does.
I'd
I
like
bet
a
it
little bit
does.
of that.
News dump. Also got a little tease or just a write-up for Pixar's new original film. That's right, not a sequel,
Mm.
called Hoppers. This is coming out in 2026, following a girl who transfers her mind into a robot beaver. Beaver, I said, not Beaver. And John Hamm will voice the mayor trying to destroy the beavers' homes, and also Bobby Moynihan. He'll be in it.
Yeah, I guess so hoppers would be like hopping mines. Is that why it's calling it
They're
that, I
only
guess?
beavers, though. Only beavers.
Listen, I wish I could get closer to beavers than I have the last couple of years.
Nice. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the soundboard. I need to put a news dump thing on here. I
Yeah,
don't have one, but I
yeah.
have these amazing sounds that I can do
Can
whatever
you
I
plug
want.
a USB into it and upload one?
I think I have to plug my laptop into it. I don't wanna
Uh,
break the board, though. That's my
yep,
only issue.
yep.
I can do that. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. I'm not too thrilled. Yeah, so this, it's something new.
Yeah, it's new.
It's not a sequel. News dump. Also, Pixar announced a series called Win or Lose coming out at the end of 2024. A second series next year is a part. Wait, what? A second series next year that is a part of the Inside Out world.
Yep. So this is their first Disney Plus series, first series in general that Pixar is creating.
Mhm.
I'm sure it'll be of the highest quality, and then they are also working on a second series, based on like the dream people
Okay. Yeah.
in the Inside Out. So that's a little intriguing as well. And obviously, Inside Out 2 just made buku bucks, so there'll be an audience for that.
News dump. Let's jump to some. Would you call all of this stuff live action? I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, we don't know about Monster Jam, I
Also,
guess.
Avatar. I don't think Avatar is live action. That's a big CGI world.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, so
But at
Avatar.
some
What?
point though, Goo, when a whole movie is all mocap, it's sort of live action too.
Kind of. But the movie that is coming out in 2025, close to Christmas, is
Ooh.
Avatar Fire and Ash. The logo, it's the Avatar logo that's on fire.
Ooh, how
What
about
was
that?
your first reaction when you saw that? Did you reach for a hose?
I stopped, and I rolled. Um, I guess They're almost just beating me down with the inevitability of these Avatar movies. So maybe I'm back in on Avatar.
I do like how they're kinda going with different elements, though. Like,
It's
the
just
first
building.
Avatar
Yeah,
was
they're
all about
building Captain Planet here.
plants and green stuff. The
Yeah,
second one was all about water. This
right.
one's fire.
Yeah. So what do we all have wind in the next movie?
Wind, then electricity,
Mm.
then rock, then psychic. Ghost?
Are you just talking about Evie? No.
Yeah, EV evolutions, I believe
Yeah.
that's what they're called.
Yeah. Quick. Can you name? I think it's the psychic Evie. Can you name? Can
I
you
can't
name any of the ones that aren't the original
no.
three?
I only know Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon.
I didn't like the way you said Vaporeon.
I didn't like it either.
There's Espeon and another one that I know too, but I think there's like fucking 9 of them now.
Well, I don't like that. News dump. Came out that for Tron Eris, Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, and Atticus Ross will be composing the score. And when I first wrote the headline, I wrote Atticus Finch.
You're a big book guy. You're just stuck
I
in the
love To
book
Kill a
world.
Mockingbird.
Um, that last Tron movie was okay. It was fine. I don't know why they're making another. However,
Mhm.
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross
No, they're great.
consistently make fantastic movie scores. So
Also, whenever I see Tron, all I can think of now is that celebrity roundtable of, a bunch of actors talking about their recent roles. And Pedro Pascal is like, yeah, to get into The Last of Us, I really got sucked into this video game. And then Jeff Bridges goes, I got sucked into a video game once. Tron! And then around the table, no one responded.
that's pretty
It's
funny.
an amazing joke, and they
Yeah.
all whiffed.
I really like Reznor and Ross, and
Mhm.
I've talked about this before. I'll frame it to you this way, and you tell me if there's a movie like this or a movie that has done this for you. When The
Mhm.
Social Network came out in 2010 or 11, I really liked it. I didn't think it was like one of the greatest movies of all time, and then when I rewatched it after we had started this podcast and I had
Yeah.
seen many more movies, I found a new appreciation for that movie. Now I actually I got to add that to the top 50.
There's
I think
50
it's one
right
of the
there.
I think it's one of the best movies ever made. And that score helps it a ton. Is there a movie that you saw, let's say 15, 20 years ago that you have rewatched since we
Yes.
started this podcast and it has bumped up to that level for you?
Tropic Thunder is
Ooh.
one that I think of immediately that when I first saw, I was like, I'm a little let down by this. And then you watch it and it just gets funnier every single time.
That's a good one too. That one always gets better.
I wouldn't put it in my top 50 movies of all time, but that's the
So
first one that popped into my head.
I am having a hard time with comedies as well and placing them up against movies like Shawshank.
Where do you have Stuart Little?
It's an omission right now. I guess I'll have to add that to the list.
How many Stuart Little movies do you think Davey has on his list?
I do know that he's a big mouse guy. So
He loves movies that stars mice. So like Mouse Hunt.
is that
What
the
else?
Nathan Lane movie?
The Nathan Lane movie. Can you think of any other mice movie besides like Mickey Mouse?
No,
There's
I
got to be
can't.
more.
Oh, Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. There we go. So Ratatouille, Mouse Hunt, Stuart Little. That's Davey's top 3. What's his
Yeah.
4th though? Guys, send us a list of mice
Stuart
movies.
Little too.
Stuart Little too. Stuart
There you
Little.
go.
Here we go. News dump. Freakier Friday. We live in a time where we're getting Freakier Friday, starring Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. The internet meme is we're getting Freakier Friday before we get GTA 6.
That's all I got for it.
Yeah, I got nothing.
News dump. I am confused by this next one.
It's very confusing.
So, The Rock apparently loves motorsports.
I guess so.
That's something that you ever knew about The Rock?
He doesn't strike me as someone. He is like this big, brash, muscular guy, but he never struck me. Oh, Fast and Furious, I guess. So maybe he got into it because of Fast and Furious.
But he'll be starring in a movie called Monster Jam, which I was like, Space Jam? No,
I
they
don't even
the same
understand.
company.
So it's just gonna be like I have a hard time thinking it's not gonna be Talladega Nights, but with monster trucks.
But I also think it's probably not going to be funny because it stars The Rock.
Smashed them.
News dump. And then you had this last one. What is this?
I love David Blaine. David Blaine, especially in the early internet days, had some of the best fucking reaction videos. Like, yeah, that's starring Mikey Day. He had some all time like doing like card tricks in the hood and reactions, great stuff. I've always been fascinated by David Blane. He has a new show coming out, and it must be on the Disney platform. And to promote this, they had him at D23, and he did a card trick in front of the 12,000 people in the audience,
Is the trick
involving
card? He did one of those?
involving the 12,000 people, and pulled it off. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand magic at all. I don't get it. Like, I get that it's not magic, but I don't like some of the shit, like back in the day, like Chris Angel, Mind Freak, some of the shit he did. I was like, how the fuck is he doing that? I don't understand it.
So you get magic. I'm sorry, you don't get magic, but you get that it's not real magic.
Yes, I understand that much of it.
Okay. All right. News dump. All right, let's get outside of D23. Tales of the TMNT is available on Paramount Plus right now. This is an accompaniment to last year's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It's been pretty good so far. So I'm not sure if you would buy into the animation style. They've really taken away like the cooler look of what you got in the movie to,
It's a little
cheapen
dumbed
it.
down. Okay.
It is, yes. I'm 3 episodes in right now. It seems like these are stories being told by Leonardo in a comic book that he's written. So that also makes sense why at the end of the Ninja Turtles movie, where Cynthia Utram is like, let's get the Shredder, and now there's no Shredder right now, it makes sense because it's often like its own like worlds, which that adds to it a little bit.
Okay.
Also, the first 3 episodes that I've seen, it's the Turtles split up.
I don't love that.
Not a huge fan of that because the best part of that movie was all 4 brothers bouncing off each other with all 4 voice actors in the same room bouncing off each other.
Is every episode available right now?
Yeah, they're all available.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
I will say
might.
this is that out of the 3 so far, the second episode, which is focused on Michelangelo, best of the 3.
Point me in a direction here, because I'm only really going to watch one over the next couple weeks.
Yes.
This or Caped Crusader?
I've only seen 15 minutes of Caped Crusader. I need to watch that, but this is easier because I can watch this with my son.
Okay, but for me,
Yes.
point me in a direction.
I've only seen 15 minutes of Caped Crusader. Go ask Doc.
Make a decision. Get off the fence.
I like TMNT better as of right
Okay.
now.
All right.
But I don't know.
TMNT.
Maybe. I don't know.
You have one day to change your mind.
Oh, fuck. Will my house explode if I don't?
Yeah. No, just a little letter in your rubbish will light on fire real quick.
Oh, shit. News dump. And then finally, it was announced, and I believe just shown at the end of last week, that a great website from our childhood, which was cartoonnetwork.com, where they had all the games.
They had great games.
Clips, they'd have episodes of shows on there. It is gone now. Thank you, WB.
Yeah. That was way back in the day. That and Candy Stand were like the best things going, circa 2004, just playing online video games. And that was like before the schools could figure out firewalls and blocking shit. So you could get access to everything.
You can watch whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. News dump.
Whitehouse.com.
All right, join us at the end of this week. We'll figure out a topic. We'll do it. But before then, you should come on down to Idle Hands Craft Ales, 89 Commercial Street in Malden, Massachusetts, for Seinfeld trivia. Best Seinfeld impression gets points.
I like that.
Also, we'll have some great giveaways. I can't tell you what they are right now because I need scripts, but something a little different than what we usually do. Also, Oktoberfest passes, so that's also pretty cool.
Yeah, the winners will be getting free entry to Idle Hands' Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
I believe that is going to be the second weekend in September, I want to say.
So. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Josh told me, let me look it up because I can actually go this year. I was able to go last year for the first time because I usually have a Cape weekend booked.
You did go last year. I went last year, too. I was in charge of the Steinhoisting competition.
I believe it's going to be Saturday, September 14th.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
So, news.